Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my quick and easy series of tutorials. Today's tutorial is part 1 of 4 parts. We're going to be learning how to make a beautiful cord bracelet with a round Unakite focal in the middle. And this focal came from the Bargain Bead Box for August. The name of that collection was Woodland Whimsy. It came with all kinds of other gemstone beads as well as shimmering crystals. I'm not going to go over each item, but I do want to give you a glimpse. As you can see, we have all kinds of sizes. These are Unakite beads, and we have some autumn jasper here. We also have some agate drusies, and look at these beautiful sparkling crystals. They definitely have an extra layer of plating. We're going to be using one of these 2 links for the bracelet today. But anyway, as you can see, Bargain Bead Box comes with findings as well, and they're usually pretty high end. This toggle clasp is 18 karat gold plated, and so are these leaf charms. You definitely get your money's worth. You usually get more than $65 worth of items, and this month's collection actually retails for $75.84, but the subscription is only $22.99 per month. If you're interested, I'll leave a coupon code down in the description section of this video. It'll give you $2 off your first shipment. So let me get the beads and the materials that we're going to be using for today's project, and we'll get started. Here are the items we're going to need for today's project. These 3 are from the Bargain Bead Box, and the rest are from my stash. As you can see, we have a beautiful Unakite link, and it measures 26 by 18 millimeters. We also have one little Jasper bead. It's autumn jasper, and it measures 6 millimeters. We're going to create a dangle with it. We also have 2 leaf spacer beads. They measure 7 millimeters in length. We have a ball head pin. I believe it's about 2 inches long. And we have 2 fold-over cord end tips. They measure 8 millimeters in length, including the loops. And I think they're 3 millimeters across. And here I have an extended chain. I'm probably going to end up trimming it. It measures 2 inches, but I'm probably going to trim it to 1 inch only. I also have a tiny jump ring. It's 4 millimeters in size, and it's 20 gauge. And I have a lobster clasp as well. I think it's 10 millimeters long. And I know my board looks a little different than usual, and that's because we're going to be taping down some cord. I'm going to be using some nylon cord, and this one is 0.8 millimeters thick. It's satin nylon cord, and I don't think it's waxed. And I think the color is champagne. I got it on Amazon. So now that we've gone over the materials, let's go ahead and get started. I've cut myself 3 different lengths of nylon cord. This piece measures 8 inches, and this one measures 24 inches. And I just realized you actually need 2 pieces. I only have 1 piece here. You need 1 piece for one side of the bracelet, and you need another one for the other side. But I'll get that later on. And over here, I have 2 pieces of 36-inch cord. And here's my link. Let me just put this off to the side for the time being. The first thing we're going to do is attach this cord to my link. And by the way, I've already applied some clear nail polish to my ends. You want to do that because they need to be a little bit stiff for when you thread them through the little leaf spacer beads. And the other thing I did, I cut the ends at an angle so that the tips are a little bit pointy. So you want to do those 2 things. You want to cut the ends at an angle and then just brush on some clear nail polish and let it dry. And that should give you some stiffness. So we're going to thread it through like this and bring it to the center. Let me just bring my ends together. And now we're going to do a simple overhand knot. I'm bringing the ends through the loop. I'm going to use my pliers for this. I'm going to grab the cord right where the loop is, like this. And I'm going to pull to get that knot as close as I can to the piece. And there's my little knot. And now I'm going to take this cord and feed it through this loop. And I'm going to do the same thing. It's just going to be an overhand knot. And this one can be sloppy. It doesn't have to be neat because we're actually going to remove it later on. I've got some tape here. And I'm going to tape it down. And I am going to tape this cord as well, but not just yet, because we need to attach one of these spacer beads. So I'm going to feed it through the hole like this. And this is probably going to be the most challenging part. It's going to be difficult because there's not a whole lot of room in the hole of this bead. Let me use my pliers. So now I'm going to slide it down. And now I'm going to get another piece of tape and tape down this cord at the bottom. And you're not going to see it because it's off frame, but I'm taping it to my board. So now we're ready to get started. Here's one of the 36-inch pieces of cord. I'm going to feed it underneath like this and find the middle. The middle is right there. And now we're going to do a square knot. I'm going to take this end, the one on the left, and create like a loop. So I'm going over the middle cords, and now I'm going to take the one on the right, go over this cord, and go under these cords, and this loop as well. I'm going underneath and pulling it through. And now we get to tighten it. So that's one half of the square knot, and now we're going to do the other half. We're going to take the one on the right now and create a loop just like this. Take the one on the left, go over this cord, go under the double cords, under this loop, and pull it through. And then tighten it. Let me do it again. I'm going to take the one on the left and create a loop like this. Take the one on the right. And I usually go like this. It's just so much easier. And now I'm going to take the one on the right, create another loop, take the one on the left, and go under all of these. Let me show you again. I'm taking the one on the left, I take the one on the right, and I'm going to go underneath this whole section here and pull. And now take the one on the right, create a loop, take the one on the left, and go across like this, underneath. It's very repetitive, guys. It's the same thing over and over. Let me do it one more time. I'm taking the one on the left, creating a loop, and now I'm taking the one on the right, and right where you see that intersection, I'm just going to go underneath at an angle like this and pull. Once again, I'm taking the one on the right, creating a loop, and now I'm taking the one on the left, going underneath that intersection and pull. And that's basically all I'm going to do until I get a length that's 2 inches long. Now yours might be different depending on how long you want your bracelet to be. This link measures 1 inch in length, including the loops, so you need to take that into account. And you also need to take into account that the fold over cord end tips and the jump rings and the clasp are going to add another inch. So by the time you add all of that up, you should be able to figure out how long you want this piece to be. My wrists are very small, so I'm going to make myself a 6-inch bracelet, maybe 6.5. But the nice thing about this design is that you have the extended chain so you can adjust it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to keep going with a square knot until I reach 2 inches, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I have my mat this time. Since I don't need to tape anything down, I thought I'd bring out my mat and my little flowers. But anyway, guys, as you can see, I completed both sides. So now I'm going to show you how to trim these cords off. before you trim them off, you want to make sure that square knot is nice and tight, the last square knot. And now I'm going to trim it off, leaving about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less. And now we need to melt that little piece down. And whenever I do this kind of thing, I always protect my skin. These are actually hot glue gun caps, and you get them on Amazon. And here I have a lighter. So I'm going to hold the flame next to that cord. You don't want to put the flame right on the cord. You just want to hold it next to it until it melts all the way down. And that's all there is to it. Let me do this other side. Once again, I'm going to trim it, leaving about 1/4 of an inch. And now I'm going to go ahead and melt it. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. Obviously, this is a very long piece, and I probably could have used less, but I needed a long piece because I needed to tape it down to my board. It just makes the job a little bit easier. Here's my cord end tip. I'm going to place both cords inside the cord end tip, as you can see. You want to make sure it's nice and centered. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. Make sure the cord end tip is up against the knot before you fold it over completely. And now let me turn it this way. And I'm going to fold over this flap. Let me test it to make sure it's secure. And it's not going anywhere. And you really don't need glue, guys. I know some of you are worried about that, but I've used these cord end tips many times, and as long as you fold over those flaps nice and tight, it's not going to go anywhere. So now I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to use my flush cutters and trim it off as close as I can to the cord end tip. And if you'll notice, there's a little bit of cord there. So I'm going to use my thread burner and I'm going to melt it down. And that's all there is to it. Very, very easy. And it looks very professionally done too. So now I'm going to do this one off camera, and then we'll come back and attach the extended chain and the clasp. Okay, I've attached both cord end tips. So now we're going to attach the extended chain with the dangle and the clasp. Let's go ahead and do the dangle first. I'm going to slide the ball head pin through the bead. And now using round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the pin right where the bead is. Kink it. Switch to this part of the pin. Wrap the tail around the nose. Flip the pliers around. Continue to wrap to the back. Let me open up this loop. And I'm going to slide one of the links into the loop that I just created. Like that. And now I'm going to grab this loop with some skinny pliers that I have. I like to use these for this purpose. They're actually crimping pliers, but they have a skinny tip and they grab really well. And now with these pliers, I'm going to grab the tail and do a couple of wraps. Let me cut off the excess. Tuck in the little sharp end. And by the way, I did trim the extended chain. This is about a 1-inch segment. So now I'm going to attach it to one of the ends. And I'm actually going to open up one of these links. You do want to make sure that you close it really well though, guys, okay? You don't want any gap at all. And I'm saying that because the loops of the cord end tip are very skinny and they could very easily slide through a gap if there's one. Let me open up this jump ring. Slide the clasp into the jump ring. And now I'm going to connect this cord end tip. And close the jump ring. And what a pretty bracelet this is. The nice thing about having the extended chain, like I said before, is that you can wear it loose or tight, depending on how you feel that day. And this is what it looks like on. So pretty. I love the colors. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I want you to come back for part 2 so we can make another bracelet for this 4 bracelet stack. Let me know what you think of this bracelet down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.